Okay, so in the last part I mentioned that our keywords are separated by spaces due to our explode function that we're going to use a bit later on. Now, whether or not you know what the explode function is, I'm going to tell you now that I made a mistake in saying that. You need to separate them by spaces because we're going to be using SQL code to select using the like part of the SQL code, and you're basically going to need to have them spaced or separated with spaces. It's just a much easier way of doing things. So keep it as it is, don't use commas or anything like that, just use it as spaces. And later on you'll see why I've chosen to tell you this. Okay, so coming back into our search.php code, the first thing that we're going to need to do is connect to our database. And to do this we used our MySQL connect function. We have 3 different parameters. We have our host, which is localhost for me. We have our username, which is root for me, and password, and which I don't have. And then we're going to be selecting our database. So we're going to say MySQL select DB, and that's PHP Academy for me. Okay, so the initial query that we're going to run is in its simplest form. I'm just going to create a variable called get, and this is going to be a MySQL query function, and we're going to select star, so an asterisk here, which means select everything from search engine, because our table here is called search engine. So select star from search engine. So this basically is taking everything from every field and every record, and then we need to run a standard like a while loop, and we're going to say while getRow equals MySQL fetch associative, and we're going to have a block here with curly brackets, and in here we have get. Now what this basically does is it creates a new variable here, which is an array, because this command here creates an array, and get is our query here, and we're creating an array out of this, of all the fields that are possible, an associative array. If you don't know what an associative array is, I do have a tutorial on this, so go check it out. And this is going to loop through every single record, and we're going to have access to what's stored in every single field on each one of these records. So keywords is one of ours, and that is going to be getRow. Remember, we have our getRow variable here, which is an array, and we use square brackets for an array, and that is keywords, as keywords is our field name shown here. So whatever you've called this, preferably keywords, then we need to stick it in here. And what's basically going to happen is I'm just going to show you echo out keywords, and then we're going to append with a full stop, a break onto the end of that. Okay, so let's go back here. This is from earlier. Hold on. Let's just go back to index. We'll go back to here. Okay, so my search engine. Let's search for anything. Press enter. We've got our 3 records that are currently in there, and we're showing our keywords. Now we don't actually need this. I was just sort of showing you how that how that comes about. We might need this. We might need this bit later on. We'll see how we go. But we certainly don't need to echo out every single keyword. Okay, so we need to explode our search term. And if you don't know what this means, it's basically taking the search term that has been put into here, and taking it and putting it into 2 separate sort of variables, if you like. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to search for PHP Academy and click search. Okay, let's save this out and refresh. Okay, so we've got nothing up at the moment. Let's in fact get rid of this. We're not going to need it. So explode our search term. I'm going to say search underscore exploded equals explode. This takes 2 parameters. The first one is the way to explode. The second one is what you're exploding, which is our search term. Remember, search term is our get up here from our search. And basically I'm going to put a space in there. And what that's going to do is when we have two separate words, we've got PHP here as one and Academy here as one, we usually separate with a space. So here we're separating with a space. And we can't just simply go echo search exploded. We can't do this because search exploded is an array. If we press refresh, we get array, array, array. So what we do is I say for each search exploded as search each, I create a block using curly brackets, and inside I echo out search each, and then we can say like have a break on to show that we're actually separating, and I refresh. We've got PHP Academy here. Now we're looping through three times, this is because we have 3 different records. But this doesn't matter for now, because the way we're doing this is we're going to start constructing some SQL query code to show, we're going to be constructing some SQL query to use the like feature of SQL to search our database. So that will come about in the next part. You don't need this echo search each, but you do need this for each. This basically goes through each of the exploded search terms. So PHP will be one part of the array and Academy will be the other part of the array, separated by a space. And inside here we're going to start constructing our SQL query, and we're going to echo it out along the way to show you how it works. So in the next part I'll be doing that. Thanks for watching.